edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport here on a 2 for Tuesday. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony show. What's going on, brother?
Not much, dude. I'm doing all right. You know, surviving here, dude. It's Tuesday, whatever, dude. I guess the week, as you could say, is in full swing here. But the New York Mets aren't. So, you know, what are you going to do right now?
Yeah, I mean, listening to DNR this morning, I mean, definitely, I would say, and I think, too, it's a product of, last night, no playoffs, obviously no Knicks on. So, I mean, the Mets are the only thing on, but I mean, pretty downtrodden from the both of Rick and David. Just how quickly, that's changed, and this whole kind of almost out of nowhere in a sense, the Soto situation, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about. But it seems like a lot of things have come up since the series, in the Bronx this past weekend. And it just, all this stuff, I mean, I can't believe that it's exploded like the way it has the last couple of days.
Yeah, I think there's, a couple of reasons why. I mean, we talked a lot about Soto, obviously not, I guess, playing up to par, what you would expect or want him to do, but the Mets were winning games. Now, the Mets have lost 4 of the last 5 games. They've scored, I think, 10 runs in their last 6 games as well.
I think
so
25th in the majors in batters with running batting average, running scoring position.
Not great, dude. And obviously, like, at that point, now you're looking to problems in the lineup. Like, why offensively we're not doing well? Who isn't doing well offensively? And I mean, I think, again, in his last 6 games, I think Soto's batting like 193 or something like that, So obviously he's becoming now more so than ever this year, under the magnifying glass, under the microscope, Brian. And like you said, now all these things are being talked about, like, which, I mean, not for nothing, dude. I don't think, I feel like Rick and Dave were talking about like how on the Padres he had like a bad attitude, like he wasn't really hustling. He wasn't like it seemed like that he, even though there were other problems around the Padres in that clubhouse, seemed like he was possibly part of it. So, I think now a lot of these things are coming out of the woodworks, and like you said before the show too. I mean, he's not really helping himself.
No.
Not only by the way he's playing, but by some of the quotes you heard from him, specifically last night after the game, when he was being questioned about his hustle. And I mean, not for nothing, he's just kind of acting like a little child about it, like almost like not admitting like what's going on. It's like literally like I almost feel like when I'm teaching these college kids Sacred Heart and like they don't submit something and I call them out on it and they're like, oh, I kind of did it. It's like, no. Like you're not doing it. Like it's not going for you right now.
I mean, it just comes down to accountability, and obviously it doesn't seem like it's there right now.
Right.
So we're going to talk a lot about this, but I also see we already have a lot of comments. So before we get started, we could start there.
A slew of comments, dude. Josh B starting it off says, "Yo, dude, what's good, fam?
What's good, Josh B? Me and Tony were just talking about, and obviously Yerny as well is in here. But so pumped for the 12th. So pumped too. Josh sent me the mock of the jersey I ordered for the show. That is going to be sick. So definitely pumped for that as well.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. And then you said Ernie, obviously, yes, in here. Social media pages are full of Soto crash out media fans, or Mets fans, I should say. And he says, what a beautiful May morning, dude. As we have
Speaking
Michael.
Of good morning.
Dude.
Good morning to Michael.
Michael's in the house, dude.
Not to kind of put the knife in the stomach, but I feel like he's getting a slight chuckle about the Soto situation. You could just kind of see it on his face.
Yeah. Well, once Michael starts, maybe watching some innings, maybe, honestly, he's
going to watch some innings on June 12th.
Actually, it's pretty crazy, because I feel like you're calling Jay out for not being a real Mets fan. I mean, I think it's maybe time that Michael maybe gets in the hot seat a little bit, dude.
You know what?
10 players on the roster. Can you name them right now?
No, but he doesn't need to. First of all, you know why? Because he was there from the start. He was there in 96. He was there in 98. He was there in 99.
No, he wasn't, dude.
He was there
Absolutely
in 2000.
not, dude. No.
Yep.
I think he was busy
Yep.
trying to be a Bulls Knicks fan or something like that in
Jay
96.
was, I don't even know what Jay was doing.
I don't even know.
I mean, was Jay even like when you first met Jay, in all seriousness, was he a
He didn't really watch
fan?
baseball that much. No, Jets to die.
Okay,
I mean, that was his thing.
That was kind of
forever,
the bread
dude.
and butter, and nothing else was really that important at that point when you first met him. Sports wise?
Yeah, no, it was Jets
Yeah.
or nothing, dude.
Yeah.
And it still kind of is, honestly. Like,
Oh, but I thought,
well, he's a Mets fan, obviously, but it still is like
bleed blue.
again. No, I think it's really maybe blue and green, maybe teal, if you will. And then Josh B laughing. Ernie wants to know if there's trouble on the horizon. Possibly. He says best team since June 24th.
Maybe because JD's been having a good time with that in his show, because like kind of making fun of Cold Take Johnny, just about some statistic that in the majors since last June 24th, the Mets had the best record. Obviously, I don't know if that's different now, but he just has said that like 100 times, so that's why Ernie said that.
Matthew Ryan here talking shit, obviously too. What happened to the Mets? Ernie, thank God the Knicks are still playing. Mets fans on suicide watch watching Juan Soto. Well, I'm not really a Knicks fan. That's fine. Dude.
Soto.
Oh, is that what he said? And then Matthew Ryan, 2 games in a row. Mess bums. Matthew Ryan also, you put him in the category with Michael Theophil, honestly. Loser bums. Soto's a bum. Losers. What a joke. Theophil, my sweet little flower. How the hell are you, bud? We already left, dude. And then is it possible? It's possible, Ryan. Phillies and Braves caught up after a terrible start because Matthew Ryan, Mets will make the playoffs. Which, yeah, I mean, it is possible. Obviously, division very competitive. Phillies, the win last night, obviously.
Right, down a game, half game now.
And then, the Braves in the same situation.
Yeah.
But I mean, those things were anticipated. I mean, I feel like at no point did anyone say the Mets are going to be outrightly winning this division.
Yeah.
But I mean, listen, there's a lot of things to look at. I mean, I think. I know these guys are having a lot of fun because they're Soto Met haters. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I mean, the problems revolving around the Mets are much bigger than Soto right now. I mean, it's not just Soto who's not doing well. I mean, if you forget, I can remind you, I mean, this is a team that was, tied for the best record in baseball for a good portion of the season so far, with Soto still playing like this. So, I mean, it's at this point, the games that are being lost, I'm not going to say it's because of Soto. I mean, you still have Lindor, you have Alonso making mistakes. You have, Alvarez, Nimmo grinding out double plays with runners in scoring position. I mean, it's not like Soto is the demise of this entire team right now. It is the Mets, as many teams do, ebbs and flows. They're just not hitting at all right now. And I do think, listen, I'm not going to sit here and be like excited or like try to defend Soto at this point right now, but. I mean, last night, that game, like even Senga wasn't pitching well. And you saw that from the first inning,
Right.
They just almost like on Friday, the game against the Yankees, they just not set the tone for this game correctly. And it's like they wake up in the 6th inning and they try to win this game by only playing good baseball in 3 innings. And I mean, that's not going to happen, So
Yeah. No, absolutely. There's just a lot to get into. And I guess if you want to just catch up on the other comments before we take an official trip.
Yes, dude. Ernie says only one team coming out of the East, wild card coming out of the West.
I mean, definitely possible. Because the Giants and the Padres on the Dodgers' heels right now. Not to mention Arizona is competitive.
Yeah, and speaking, Dodgers another loss last night. Not
to
great
Arizona.
Yeah, to Arizona.
Yeah.
Also, like, bad job ESPN, by the way, because I was like looking at the box score for that, and their top headline for that game was Ohtani's home run, and it's like, you know what, dude? Like,
I saw that. I thought the Dodgers won.
Yeah, me too, dude. Yeah. And I'm like, what the hell?
But that's why they're taking them off the baseball coverage.
It's a shame, dude.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Ryan says the deep dive is coming. Michael counting down the days until we can hang out at the tailgate, which is no doubt going to be a great time, dude.
Pumped for that. And we need to get like a full recording of me kind of messing with Dave on like the Lindor part 2, I guess you could say. I know Josh Beal will love that.
He may toss you off the train, Brian.
This guy again?
This guy again, dude? Who's this guy on the train, dude?
Every time. He's hammered.
Matthew Ryan saying time for the panic for the Mets fans, which, I mean, I don't know if it's panic quite yet. I mean, you're still in the lead of the division. Like, you you still have things to look forward to here. And there was some good things to look at the end of the last night's game. He says, yes, but when you pay someone $765, you did nothing to help the rest of the team. Something we said at the offseason, Soto wasn't the savior or the answer. I mean, listen, obviously, you're right, Ernie. I mean, you pay a man that money, he's going to be under the microscope. But again, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I want the Mets to win games. I don't care how it happens. Once they get back to winning, then yeah, we can address the Soto situation. I mean, obviously Mendoza did say yesterday he will address it after the game, the lack of hustle coming from Soto. And I mean, honestly, if you really do ask me, I think some of the hate is getting to him. Because I mean, not for nothing, dude, you watched the game yesterday and I understand the Red Sox were, I guess, kind of after Soto while he was a free agent. But they were booing him, honestly, just as much as Yankee fans were in the Bronx, which I think was a little surprising to me.
But I think that was because, though, he kind of flirted with them free agency. Yeah. They felt used maybe for leverage.
Yeah, maybe, possibly. In any case, dude, I mean, I think the hate from the fans was there. And like I said, I think it is getting to him. I mean, I think a lot of this, and honestly, it may even be trickling down to the rest of the team here, because I mean, some of the mental mistakes we're seeing on the field or at the plate are affecting this entire team. So, I guess the good thing is that maybe it is more mental than physical, I guess, for the team right now. So, we'll kind of see what happens. Obviously, a big game 2 tonight against the Red Sox. So yeah, I guess we'll see, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're caught up in the comments now, dude.
All right, so let's go right now, dude, to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yeah, what a play. Stop it. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drove deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So like we said, a lot to talk about. And I have to start this by saying, I just heard like rumblings of this. I didn't hear the specific segment. Matt had sent me something earlier, but I didn't listen to it yet. But basically what I had heard, and I don't know if you could, tell me any better, Tony, but on, Michael Kay's show yesterday, that he had alluded to the fact that he heard from people that at the end of the day before Soto, signed his contract with the Mets, that he wanted to sign with the Yankees, but his family, like, I don't know what the right word is, coerced or just like made it known that they felt the right decision for all of them was for him to sign with the Mets because of the additional perks, the suite, the field level seats, the clothing allowances, all of that. And that is why he seems, disgruntled out on the field because, and, maybe this series, in the Bronx kind of put that in the forefront of him, wishing that he was still there. That's the gist that I got. Like I said, I didn't listen to anything, but that's what it seems like people are saying. Did you hear? I mean, is that basically what he said? Or?
I didn't hear that. I didn't hear what he said. But I mean, I listen, I mean, where he wants to be, I think is really irrelevant to his attitude right now. I don't care if you're on the Dodgers that won the World Series. I don't care if you're on the Rockies. Okay.
Right.
If you're not playing well, you're not going to be happy with yourself.
Right.
And that's what's happening to him right now. I think it would be ridiculous to sit here and assume he wants to be off of the Mets. I think he just wants to be just as good as he was last year. Or really, any one of his years of his career. And until that happens, I mean, I think this is what you're going to see. And I mean, Ernie had a good comment where he said that, but all goes back to what we said, when you are the highest paid player in baseball, you got to wear that what comes with it. Got to have some moxie.
Like he wants to.
Well, I mean, listen, I think you go back to Friday, the hat off, the wave at the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he tried his very best to hit this in stride, to kind of have this sort of moxie, Ernie, if you will. But I think that, obviously he probably was anticipating maybe having a better series.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, I was anticipating it. I'm telling you, I was just expecting him to be so tight, him just crushing the ball,
Yeah.
like hitting multiple home runs. I would have bet on it.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, literally. But obviously he didn't. Writing's on the wall there, and at this point, not only again, I mean, he has nothing to fall back on. They didn't even win the series. It's not like you can sit here and be happy. Hey, buddy, we won. Like it's okay. It's all good.
Right.
It wasn't that. And now you're walking into this Red Sox series where there's almost as much hate, and he's also not doing well still. So I mean, I think that has gotten to him, and I know you can sit here and wax poetic about this is what he walked into, this is what he should have expected. But not for nothing, Brian, I cannot think of really any other scenario in sports like this before, where a player left a team in free agency and received so much hate around the league because of it, Like, I really can't think of another player.
And I think it's different because, baseball-wise, there's only a few franchises that have the fan support that the Yankees do. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like middling, and obviously the Mets with their attendance this year, like that's grown a lot. But you know what I mean? A lot of teams have middling attendance, half full ballpark. So it's just like, it means a lot more to, specifically Yankee fans and, these fans of these organizations that are thriving. And on a national level, people that aren't, diehard baseball fans have, we've talked about it many times, have this opinion, oh, baseball's a dying sport, doesn't matter, this and that. And it's just because it literally is that important. And unless, you are in those shoes and a fan of those teams, you don't understand it. So I think that's why it's gotten to the point. And obviously, I mean, you could argue there's more Yankee fans than any type of fan. So there's just a lot of fans and it's just a lot of people upset. So that's kind of what you get. And I haven't heard this, but I don't know if it'll come through clear, but I was should I play like what Matt had sent me about?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You can put up the mic.
It has to be denied. But I've talked to people that I respect. He wanted to return to the Yankees. That was his preference. His family said, you're going to the Mets.
Of course. Sorry. Always get the calls at the worst time. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Why is this not playing now? This is pissing me off. Wait, hold on. Dude, I feel like iPhones have conniptions if you get a call when you're
playing something.
When you're playing,
normally it does. I think I stop when it's playing. But if you,
I want to go back to this because like I said, I haven't heard it. Yeah. No, this was he just said. He said, he said to go back to he said to start at this a certain point, and I'm only going to give it a minute, but I just wanted to hear it myself, like I said, because I hadn't heard it.
Heard it yourself, yes. We need the sound from Michael K.
They said you're going to the Mets, and he is a guy who listens to his family. So I think at this point he's probably a little bit down. He's pouting a little bit. And then to come into Yankee Stadium, have 3 straight sellout crowds, and a place that was his field of dreams, where he was showered with love. Every single game he played in the Bronx, it became his field of nightmares over the weekend. I don't think it affected him on Friday, because I think that he thought this is fun. The tip of the cap. I can't even read into that, because I talked to people about that. And I said, was he telling the people, you're not getting to me? Or listen, I love you, or whatever the case may be. There were some people that said, you know what that was? That was a big fat middle finger to the Yankee fans that were booing. I don't know what it was, but it seemed like he was trying to have fun with it. Saturday, I think he started, this is going to go on again. And then yesterday, he made a commitment to be mic'd up in the second inning for ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. And then 2 hours before the game began, he said, nah, I'm good. Now, did he say that because he wasn't having a good series? Did he say that because, I might say something wrong? Did the Mets tell him not to do it? But that's a bad look. Because ESPN was promoting it. Andrew Marchand had it out on social media that Juan Soto was going to be mic'd up, whatever the case may be. Listen. Put it all together, and I think he's going to be fine. And somebody gave me a comp about what's going on. And that comp is Francisco Lindor.
I mean, I think that's pretty much just the gist.
What does he mean by that?
He was saying he's going to say that, struggling in the beginning, seeming like it's not going to go
something
well,
that's like a comparison is what he says. Yes.
And I'm curious what you think about this, but my whole thing, and I was just telling Matt, is like, I don't know. He was saying like, oh, it's so bad. Like, that like, if that's the case, that his parents, but I just have a tough time thinking that, you're going to let your parents decide where you want to sign when you're setting them up for the rest of their life. And it's like based on perks that they want, but that you'd have enough money to pay for anyway. So I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that actually was the case. And I know going into this, I had thought, kind of that's why I signed the Mets, because the extra money as well, not taking dollar less. But to think that he was like, no, I want to go to the Yankees, and that his parents forced him to sign to the Mets, to me, that seems a little crazy.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I don't know who Michael Kay is talking to. He says people he trusts in the business. Yeah. I take a lot of things Michael Kay says with a grain of salt.
Right.
But also, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know what his family is like either. So I guess it's possible. But I mean, like I don't know. That's that to me. Like, and no offense, but that is like some crazy like speculation. Okay. Right. And not for nothing, dude. If you're going on the radio and saying that shit, and you're not like dropping names of people or citing interviews, like, what are we talking about?
But I do think, because I know, not everybody loves Michael Kay. Like, I understand that. But I do think at the same time, I don't know. I just don't think he's going to say something. That's why I'm like almost confused with this. I don't think he's going to say something that's just like he just made up out of thin air. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I don't think so.
From somewhere.
Yes, I'm sure.
But I just, like I said, like, it's like you're basing it off of like tickets and clothing allowances. Like, you'd have enough money for that anyway. I just have such a hard time believing that it was like they like said, no, Juan, like you have to sign with the Mets because they're giving us this stuff. I just have a really tough time believing that.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know, man. I also feel like, I mean, don't you think that Cohen and Stearns would be able to sniff that out and be like,
right,
like,
exactly.
Is this really like good idea? You
right.
know, I would find that kind of hard to believe, but I mean, listen, I guess, anyone's guess is as good as ours, I suppose, at this point. But at the end of the day, like, all this goes away if he plays well. Exactly. Like, all of it does. Mm-hmm. And until he does, it's going to be sticking around. You're going to get all the hate, people out of the woodworks, family made him do it, whatever. If he just starts playing well, if Mets start winning games, I mean, this entire thing goes away. And that's what really you have to look to at this point. It really doesn't matter, especially now. I mean, he signed the fucking contract. He's on the team. You have to figure out how to make him, mentally get back to center and start playing better. I mean, and that really is simply at the end of the day what it is. And I do have confidence in Mendoza. Like he said last night, he's going to talk to Soto about what's going on. Mendoza does seem like a good guy here. I've loved what he's done with the Mets so far as the manager, and I have confidence he can, hype Soto up, get him back to what he could look like. And the Mets will start winning games again. I mean, that's what you're looking at.
Yeah. And I see Ernie talking about a video. What was that all about?
Yeah, he sent me a video. Like, obviously some guy edited it. It was Soto jumping up for the Bellinger home run. And how he didn't really jump that high.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you think he really could have caught it? Or I don't think so. I think
he would have had to, like, 1 foot off the wall,
like
jump.
Spider-Man, like Torrey Hunter.
Because the dude in the front row almost, I think in his hands, but he was like full extension up in the air. So It's like, I mean, I don't know. You're talking like you got to jump up like probably like 10, 15 feet,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And then also Ernie says it's a culture thing. I discussed this with JD yesterday. Hispanic families hold a weight you couldn't imagine. Dominicans, Ricans, Cubans, all alike. Yeah. I mean, listen, we don't know his family life. Like I said, I just feel like when you're the one playing, you're the one setting up your family for life. That if they knew that you didn't want to sign somewhere, that they're gonna still say no, sign there. I have a hard time believing that.
Yeah, me too, dude.
And then also an interesting comment here from Nithin saying, "Hey guys, long time no speak. Brian talking about Soto so much. I have his phone number. You can blow his over FaceTime. Kind of interesting, almost like a cold take Johnny or a Kev Do type of comment there. But I mean, Tony, I mean, I'm just talking about this because this is a story. And obviously it goes with, what we've seen on the field with him. So that's the only reason. It's like, I mean, I'm not just mentioning this just to like rag on Soto. I mean, this is a story right now.
Yeah, it is. It is the story. I mean, especially in New York sports right now. I mean, like the Knicks didn't play last night. They're not playing tonight.
Yeah, the Mets were the only show in town.
Yeah.
I mean, I was even watching the Mets game. I mean, it's just to show you. I mean, that's what was going on. Of course, like, as you can imagine, this past series, we of course, as Yankee fans, we enjoyed winning and seeing sort of struggle. But at the end of the day, I mean, this more than I. And sure, we've had debates and, kind of, banter back and forth. End of the day, and it's the same thing with you. Our number one priority is our team. It's not someone else failing.
Right.
And, maybe Matthew Ryan is different, but as far as most of us are concerned, our priority is our team at the end of the day. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's what I'm focused on. And I did see this, Ernie. He says it was the MLB show home run edit. I thought that's what he was referring to. I wasn't sure. But just with like the meter and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he says, as much as that makes sense, it's true. The fact that the suite was such a big deal should show you that. And then Matthew Ryan says, Juan Soto is not happy as a Met. That's a fact.
Which is not a fact, by the way, Matthew.
And I was kind of going to get to this. So do you believe, Tony, that all like his demeanor, lack of hustle, this is all because of frustration of not doing well, and it has nothing to do with the Mets as a team, organization, clubhouse, none of that?
I mean, I don't think so. I don't think this has to do with like he's not happy as a Met. Like, I find that really, really hard to believe, dude. Again, like why? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like why he would be a Met then? Like I don't care, family or not. Like the guy's an adult. Every family, regardless of situation, financially, heritage, whatever you want to bring up, every family has pressure.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, you can look at even Aaron Rodgers, for example, right? That guy doesn't talk to his family because of the pressure that they put on him. Okay. And at the end of the day, like Soto's going to want to do what he wants. Like he's going to do what he wants. He went to the Mets. Yeah, maybe he did have his family in mind with the suites, with all the extra amenities. Sure. But I don't think that they gave him some type of ultimatum and he had to go to the Mets, even though he didn't want to.
No, that's what I'm saying. And especially like to take it a step further, that it was like, there was no in his mind, like, I don't want to go to the Mets at all. Like, I only want to go to the Yankees, but, I have to sign with the Mets because they told me to. No, I don't believe that in the slightest.
Can't.
So I mean, and then just with this, hustle thing, we mentioned this, yesterday about, how he looked in the Subway Series, and then, you had the not running out of the box on that fly ball. And I happened to be tuning in for that at bat when that happened. And they were trying to say like, he's played in this ballpark many times, that he should know that wasn't going to be, out of the park. Right. So just when it comes to that stuff, take away the smiling and the shuffle. What do you think that's all about? Or do you think it's just a carryover from frustration?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess. I mean, you could boil it down to as simple as he thought it was going to go out. And
I mean, they did say the wind was hollowing there because obviously same thing happened to Alonso
first inning. Yeah, dude. So, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, I mean, that's just listen, you can look at that across baseball. Okay. Any player, almost every player has an opportunity or a circumstance such as that. We've seen that across the board. And that's just a big no-no, obviously.
Right.
When you go back to Little League, I can even remember myself being in like the third grade. I hit a ball into the outfield and I'm staring at it. My coach is like, what the fuck are you doing? Get out of the box.
Right.
All right. And that's at that point is a mental mistake. You could sure chalk it up to, him not playing well or whatever. But I mean, I think that is what it is at that point. I mean, she just thought it was going to go out and it didn't.
Yeah.
And honestly, in my opinion, at the end of the day, he stole second afterwards, like kind of made up for it. So it's like, not really a huge deal like that. I'm not going to focus on that,
I think though, the reason why people see it as a bigger deal is because when you couple it with his performance, this past weekend, I think that's what people, are pointing to.
We got Tommy calling in right now.
Let's get him on the dial.
Tommy in a while.
Yeah,
hold on, stand by 1 second. All right. Good morning. You are on the Sportsport, bud. What's going on?
Gentlemen, how we doing today?
Tommy,
Good,
first
dude.
time, long time.
Great to hear your voice, buddy.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
It's been a minute. I was just laughing when you were talking about the Juan Soto stuff in his family, and it's like went full Forrest Gump. Like, well, Mama said.
Yeah. Mama says stupid is as stupid does.
Oh, man. But what do you think about the whole thing, Tommy?
So, I mean, I actually take what Kay said because I was listening to the majority of his show.
Mm-hmm.
He said that he went to the ball game in like 7 hours early and was talking to multiple people, you know, within the organization of the Mets and the Yankees, and he really got the feeling that Soto is not in the same like headspace, and now that he's on the Mets. So who am I to tell him that he's been in the business for 37 years or something at this point?
Mm-hmm.
I know he's a little biased. Boy, I get it, but so I mean, I could see it. You know, there's always an adjustment period with players going to new, ball clubs, whatever.
Yeah. And my thing too, I kind of was saying to Tony, like why, like last year, for instance, you look at him every game, it seems like he's like, having the time of his life and he's shuffling and all this stuff. I think he's somebody who like, he wants to be in the spotlight, but like thriving and have everybody kind of, just like, commenting on, what a great player he is and just kind of setting the tone, being the top player on the team. So I think, when you have other people around you, like, Alonso and Lindor, who have been really carrying the team, obviously up until the recent stretch, maybe they've cooled off a little bit. I think that's a problem for him, that it's like, he almost feels like, he's not contributing, and I think he just wants to be the reason why his team wins. That's kind of what I think. I don't know if you think anything about that, but
well, I remember that being the narrative of last year. With him going into free agency, like, oh, he wants to be the guy on a team.
Right.
He wants it to be his team. Well, Frankie Lindor already has the Mets. He is the Mets. So I don't know that meant obviously the dollars made most sense, but I don't know if that was the best landing place, because or maybe he just doesn't have leadership qualities. It could be any of those.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I think, though, the difference was, he knew on the Yankees that Aaron Judge, is just a better player. The fans are like him more. But I think going to the Mets, he had this feeling that he's better than both of, Lindor and Alonso. So I think that's kind of why, he felt like he's going to perform at the highest level, and he hasn't. And I guess, frustration has boiled over. But I have a hard time thinking, too, like if later today, he hits 2 home runs, that it might change things and you might see different body language. And especially because like the manager's calling him out after the game, I think that a hot streak would turn things around. I would imagine. Obviously we'll have to see, but
as Sterling would say, that's baseball, Susan.
Yeah.
I'm sure Tony will agree with me that he is going to regress to the mean. He's going to come back to the back of his baseball.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think, and I said this like kind of going into this season, first of all, the first year of a huge contract is always tough. We talked about Beltran. So I think that's definitely a possibility. But I also think what we saw last year was him kind of, like maxed out in terms of, hitting near 300, hitting over 40 home runs. I think he's shown over his career, he's 30 to 35 home runs, and he's going to hit 270 to 280, which will be fine. I think it's just right now he's obviously not on pace for that. So that's why, there is, this concern. And until, we see, people, fans see him producing and also showing good body language, it's going to be a conversation. This is just New York.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's not going away.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
Absolutely. And let's see now, what are your thoughts on what we've seen out of the Yankees so far?
I can't tell you how impressed I am with Max Fried. I think it starts there. And this goes back to the losing Soto in free agency and then pivoting to get Bellinger and Goldschmidt and Williams and Fried. Losing Cole and having Fried is a godsend.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's really, even if, we did get Soto and then we didn't have Fried, I mean, it would be a major problem. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, just obviously he's not as maybe much of a strikeout guy as Garrett Cole, but ERA wise, I mean, he's exceeding what you would get from Garrett Cole. And just like Garrett Cole is going deep into the game. So I think, in that front, it's worked out great. And just the fact too, the fact that Goldschmidt has been like, I mean, it seems like he's having one of the best seasons in his career. Maybe the power's a little off, but just contact wise, seeing the ball and the fact that he plays good defense. You think about what we had the last couple of years and then what we're getting now with Goldschmidt. I mean, it literally is like the best first base production, we've had since Mark Teixeira. I mean, it's been a long time.
That's exactly where my head went because, we just saw the decline of Rizzo, which was sad because I love him as a player. But to see Goldschmidt, even though he's not hitting for power the way he used to, I think he was batting like 359 the last time I checked, like something wild.
He's hovering
like
around 350, yeah.
That's not a player you expect that from. And he's not the best defensive first baseman, but he can pick it on almost any throw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. And he runs fast. I mean, you don't expect somebody at his age to run like that. It's been pretty impressive. So definitely, definitely excited about the way things have gone. And got 3 more games here with Texas before we have a big West Coast road trip. So that's going to be definitely a challenge. You play the Dodgers and then, Angels and the Rockies. But just a long time on the road. So, a lot of a lot of adjustment being on the road for that long. So we'll see. And then also just while we have you here, hockey, what are we thinking here for the Stanley Cup?
Okay. So I am so excited for this Western Conference final.
You got Edmonton or what?
I want to see Edmonton's firepower against Otter, who I think is the best remaining goalie, even though Bobrovsky's helps. I think he's a little off his game. I think Jake Ottinger is fantastic, so I can't wait to see those games.
And if you had to say, I mean, who's winning that series?
I think Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, the Rantanen, I mean, it's unbelievable. I knew he was good, but I mean, I just never knew he was this good. I mean, it's just unbelievable what he's done. But yeah, I think it's gonna go 7 and. I think the Oilers will win, but I'm definitely not going to be anywhere near surprised if Dallas wins because they just have been, just on a run. Now, what are you thinking in the East?
So here's the conundrum because Florida they play completely different styles. Florida is like a 4x100 relay race up and down the ice. Carolina just suffocates you. So I'm going to give the edge to Florida because of Bobrovsky over Anderson, but I think it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, no, I think it'll definitely, be a close series as well. And it's funny.
Those are all literally 2 of the best coaches that exist on planet Earth, Paul Maurice and Rod Brindamore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we have a live comment here. Donna Riled says, "Good morning. Is that Tommy Hockey?"
Donna, what's up, girl?
The one, the only. So that's a good one there. And then I was talking to Josh yesterday. You're going to the thing on the 12th, right?
I am going to do my best to make it, and he was suggesting that I meet up with the DTV crew.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
That way, so I don't know where I would meet you guys, like Stanford or somewhere down there.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, because since I'm in Stanford, so yeah, let's definitely do that because that's gonna be a great day. And we were just saying earlier in the show,
we'll be in touch and work out the logistics.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure. No, but we cannot wait for that. That's gonna be awesome. So let's definitely make that happen. So yeah, good stuff, Tommy. Appreciate you calling in, and definitely give us a call again soon.
All right. Always good to have you on, guys.
All right. Thanks, Tommy.
Peace.
And then Donna also saying Beach Bash Tommy.
Wow.
Great to hear from Tommy, though. We hadn't had a call from him in a long time. Almost since I don't know, mid to 3/4 way hockey season.
Yeah, probably, right? Yeah, it was great to hear from him.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I guess we kind of talked about the Soto situation, but I think we kind of covered where we're at, and I think both of us are expecting him to bounce back, but obviously as a fan, of course, you're just like, can it just be right now? Like you don't want to wait anymore. We're at 7 weeks, but do you expect almost it to be tonight? Just because last night you could look at it as almost like the final straw with the manager mentioning it, and now he's in his head he's pumped up, okay, you're gonna see who I really am.
I mean, I would love that, dude. I really would.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like especially for something like in a sport like baseball, I don't know. I feel like it's not very often we see that snap out of nowhere sort of deal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you're going to see a different Juan Soto, maybe a better attitude. I think you're going to see a different, honestly, Met team. Because again, to go back to the mental aspect of the entire team, the trickling down even from Soto, possibly. You look at that at the game yesterday. Everyone on the field everyone was looking kind of sluggish, down. It wasn't until I think the 6th inning where Kadai seemed a little bit more dialed, and you had a sick pick from Beatty into a double play, and then a strikeout. I think on the forkball after that, then you start to see everyone kind of loosened up a little bit. And again, you saw a couple good hits. Marte had a good hit in the 9th, whatever. So I think because of that, you'll see a different Mets team tonight. Soto, I mean, I could see him having a big hit and the team rallying around him. I think we're going to see a gradual increase in his attitude and play. I'd love for him to go up there to go 2 for 4 with 2 dingers, but I don't know, man. I mean, at this point, I think realistically, it's hard for me to sit here and really expect that to happen.
Yeah.
But I mean, time will tell, dude. I mean, he certainly can. He certainly has the ability and the talent to do that. But like I said, I think he's, facing something he's never faced before in his career, and that rarely any athlete has faced at this point. So I think it's going to take a little bit of time, but I do think that, Mendoza speaking to him is going to be a step in the right direction here.
I just got a notification. Ernie, welcome to DTV Fam member.
Wow,
Let's
dude.
go.
Look at that, Ernie. Let's freaking go, baby.
Ernie.
Welcome to the club.
Absolute legend, and great to have him as a member. So I know, we kind of jumped around, but did you, want to kind of, summarize, last night's game here?
Yeah, sure, dude. The 3-1 loss here, to the Red Sox. I kind of mentioned, Kadai not getting off to a good start, but, it was somewhat of a, I guess an unlucky top of the first here. I don't want to use the word unlucky. I hate using that, but, you mentioned Alonso, a big hit, first inning, dude. Hits the green monster. He did the same thing Soto did, staring at it. Kind of thought it was a home run.
Yes.
Wasn't. So he's like, all right, let me get a double out of it. Oh, you're at it second. And it was they reviewed it and everything, but he was fucking out. It was just a bad call by the ump at second. He was out by a good couple feet here. He did the old swim move. That ended the inning too. So, I mean, not great, dude. Not great at all. And of course, I mentioned too, before that, Soto in the batter's box getting booed by the whole stadium. And he grounds out to short because of that. I really do think that these boos, are affecting the entire team, dude. I mean, it is tough. I don't think, not for nothing, outside of the Subway Series, and I can confidently say in my lifetime that it's been the most prominent in Subway Series this year. But I feel like the Mets have never really gotten this much hate from around the league, let alone in back-to-back series here. So, I mentioned Senga getting into some trouble early too, bottom of the first, giving up 2 runs here. Again, it just seemed like Senga, I don't know. I mean, going into this game, I wouldn't say Senga was in a good position. I honestly think that the Red Sox and they have some good hitters, obviously, Bregman, Duran. I know Story has been, kind of missing or MIA this season, but he's coming off injury, whatever. We know the ability he can have, the impact he can have on a lineup. Obviously, Devers, regardless of his locker room or attitude problems, he's still performing offensively. So I really think that the Red Sox, maybe leading up to this series, sat down, knew Senga was playing here, pitching game one, and they watched a shit ton of tape because these forkballs that Senga was throwing, I mean, we're talking like, at the shins are these balls. And then you're getting these batters to just go fishing for it. And like I said, I mean, they must have like planned for this, because you're watching these balls and I mean, they're hitting them softly, but they're going down the first base line, down the third base line, into the corner. It's like out of the reach of Alonso, out of the reach of Beatty. You're seeing them trying to make diving plays, but again, they're just bat to ball and just positioning these balls correctly in the infield, and they're going down in the corner for doubles and triples. And because of that, you see that Duran leadoff double in the bottom of the first. Devers gets walked on a 4-pitch at bat. Again, that kind of definitely goes more so into Senga rattled after a 1-pitch double, I guess, given up, not really necessarily finding the strike zone correctly. You could argue some of those balls borderline could have been called strikes, but I'm not going to sit here and argue that here. If Senga was throwing better pitches, he would have gotten called strikes at the end of the day. Devers goes to second on a wild pitch. Bregman grounds to second. Duran scores because of that. 1 out. 2 on, right? Story infield single to short. Devers scores because of that. And then you get Sogard to line out. So he gets out of the inning, but 2-0 early on. And then what do you know? Offense was lacking, 3 up, 3 down in top of the second. Bottom of the second we go. Senga into trouble again, dude. Hamilton leads off by grounding out to second, so there's 1 out, but then Narvaez gets walked. Rafaela pops out to third, so you have 1 on, 2 outs. Duran, dude, I mean, literally, I was talking about almost same pitch. He went fishing for low fork ball, almost out of the zone, practically out of the zone. And it's just one of those, like, he reaches and he just doesn't even follow through. Just lets the momentum punch this ball down the third base line, I think it was, or maybe the first base line. Triple, just like that. Scores another 1 run, 3-0. And after that, you kind of felt a little bit of a shift here, because top of the third, Alvarez lead off double of his own, giving the Red Sox taste of his own medicine. Alvarez had a pretty, actually, he really didn't have like an okay night. Whatever. McNeil grounds out. Taylor, though, RBI single to center, scores Alvarez 3-1, just like that. Boom. You think some offense going, and then what do you know? Lindor walks, dude. So runners first and second, 2 outs, 1 out. Juan Soto grounds out into an MF and double play here. I believe that was his 9th of the season. 9th time he's grounded out double play. Obviously, with a runner in scoring position this earlier on, you were hoping you can cut that deficit to 1, but no. Remains a 2-run lead at 3-1. But Senga comes in bottom of the third. A new man, it seems. Kind of dials it in a little bit. Does give up a double to Bregman, but then gets 2 groundouts and a strikeout. Trevor Story to end the inning. And then I guess we'll go here. Bottom of the fourth. Why not? It's worth to mention because for the second night, in a row, you see Alonso with an error here at first base. And again, it didn't amount to anything. But again, just the pressure this team is feeling, the state of their attitudes, and their mental state, whatever you want to say, it's just like shit like this is just annoying. It's just pesky. Hamilton strikes out. Narvaez singles. Rafael strikes out. So you have 2 outs. Runner on first. Duran hits a hard hit ground ball short to Alonso. Alonso fields it. Senga comes over to cover first. Alonso does the old underhand throw, and oh my God, just like mails this guy like he's fucking playing cornhole or something. Everybody's safe, okay? And then you get Devers gets walked again, but then Bregman grounds at the third, so thank God everybody's safe. Alonso, the sigh of relief, whoa. But still, it's just like extra pitches for Senga for no reason. And I mean, I know he again, he's professional about it. He, obviously no more scoring for the Red Sox. But in any case here, I guess at this point, you can go to top of the fifth here. with Dobbins pitching, okay, dude. Beatty grounds out the second, so 1 out off the rip. Back-to-back singles, Alvarez, McNeil. Taylor strikes out swinging, but you have Alvarez, who's at third at this point. McNeil's at first. You have runners at the corners. Lindor swings at this fucking, I don't know, changeup. Maybe it was a backdoor slider, but it was like, I think it was a backdoor slider because it was like, it hit it like, it broke like at his back foot, at his knees, dude. And it's just a pitch you should not be swinging at. You know, Lindor should not be swinging at that. Again, at this point, everyone offensively is struggling. You have a runner in scoring position. Brian mentioned it. I mean, you're 25th in the league with your RISP numbers. It's not good at all. So the game remains 3-1. You go now top of the sixth. This was the Soto stare job here. Where am I? Yeah, top of the sixth here. Soto leading off the inning, dude. Hit the ball. Green Monster, stare at it. Okay, dude. Oh, shit. You're trotting. Single. Whatever, dude. You stole second, so you got to be a little happy about that. Just to see Soto get something going here. Alonso gets walked. Let's fucking go, baby. Runners on first and second. Nobody out. It's a fucking 2-run game here. You're still in it, all right? Nimmo grounds out. Double play, dude. And that's just like a huge no-no, man. I mean, you hate to see that. The story of the fucking night for the Mets. Weissert comes out. Vientos find out the right. Useless. 3-1. It remains. Senga comes in. Bottom of the sixth. I mentioned, again, a little bit of life here. Hamilton, ground out the first. Alonso fields it. Overhand toss to Senga. Makes the out. They have a good chuckle, laugh, whatever. For the first time, I think the entire game, honestly, I saw Senga with a smile on his face. That was great. And here we go. Narvaez, hard hit. Great pick by Beatty. Over to first. Out. Everybody's happy. You get Rafael to strike out, swing on the forkball. Ends Senga's night. That was a great momentum shift. But it's the sixth inning, dude. Like, again, it was just too little, too late at this point. The seventh inning was no help at all. Beatty and Alvarez led off with back-to-back strikeouts. McNeil walks. Taylor singles. Okay, you have a throwing error by Abreu. McNeil's at third. Runners on the corners. Yet again for Lindor with 2 outs. Same shit in the fucking sixth. Okay, dude. Grounds out to second. All right, at least he didn't strike out on a terrible pitch, but still, Slayton comes in, dude. They bring in the Slayton. First pitch, you're swinging at it, and it's just like, I don't know, man.
Impatience.
Exactly. I mean, listen, I'm all for being aggressive at the plate. I feel like it's a starter more so, but it's like when a bullpen guy comes in, like to get 1 out too, just I would say see the first pitch. All right. It was a cutter that was low, obviously looking for the ground out.
Right.
And he got exactly that, you know? So it's tough there. For the second time Lindor did that of the night. So again, you think you could kind of minimize some of the lead here for the Red Sox, which is only 2, by the way. They scored 3 runs in the first innings, and then you kind of shut the door. Senga does anyway. Bottom of the seventh, Castillo, good, whatever. I guess at this point we just go to the 9th inning, okay? Because Buteau and Castillo clean through 2 innings there for them. So bullpen getting the job done. Senga, honestly, arguably, getting the job done. 6 innings, 3 earned runs. I think only 5 Ks, but still, I was saying earlier before, Brian, when you stepped out, these Red Sox batters, I'm telling you, like they had film on Senga because those first 2 innings, dude, their forkballs were at their shins and they were doing the old poke it, just like soft swing, and they were just like down the lines, first baseline, third baseline.
And these, but were they technically balls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either balls or borderline balls.
Yeah.
I think the first hit that Durant had, that thing was like way low in the strike zone, outside of the strike zone.
Yeah.
Like it really was. I really couldn't believe it almost. But in any case, here we're in the 9th. Of course, Vientos leading off here, strikes out, swinging. Great job. We have Chapman pitching. I don't know if you saw the 9th. Yeah.
What was the, like, because I know this year he's hit 103.
104 even. I think it was like 101, somewhere around there. Yeah, 101.
No, it's crazy, too, because he had that little, like, lull where it's like, oh, he doesn't really throw 100 anymore. And now it seems like he's, like, jacked back up. Roids, maybe, or no?
Maybe sometimes.
Or just motivation.
The deer antler spray, maybe. No, I don't know. I mean, listen, he's always, I feel like, thrown gas at some, I don't know, dude. I mean, the location was there, I suppose. Marte pinch hits for Beatty here. I wouldn't have done that, to be honest, but hey, Marte got a single to left, but Alvarez double play, grounds out. ends the game, dude.
And I mean, it's just late on the fastball there
For Alvarez
and Vientos. I mean, is that?
Oh yeah, Vientos way behind on the fastball.
Yeah.
Like not even close, dude.
Yeah, and then did Chapman do the? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a hard time thinking with Chapman, and I know obviously, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, why do you really care? But just that this is gonna like keep up with Chapman. I think there's gonna be the usual complete meltdown during the season at some point. But right now, he's pitching well.
Yeah, no, right now he is pitching well, dude.
Yeah.
He is. And it was, listen, I mean, at the end of the day, a 3-1, game. It's not like, the Red Sox were blowing the cover off the ball.
Yes.
You sucked with runners in scoring position. You had some mental errors out there. And the Red Sox were hitting you well. But at the end of the day, I mean, you should be able to score more than 3 runs.
Oh, yeah.
I said it before. I mean, 10 runs in the last 6 games, not good. And you just like we saw, I mean, the strikeouts, the grinding out double plays. I mean, at least 3 times with runners in scoring position, you're grinding out into inning-ending double plays. You can't be doing that, You got to figure it out at the plate. Again, I mean, obviously, Red Sox. Listen, they have the talent. Obviously, the hitters were good. But give me a break. I'm pretty sure Dobbins too. His last start was atrocious, dude. And he labors through 4 2/3, and then you have 5 separate bullpen guys you couldn't get to at least a little bit here. Obviously at this point you're clamoring for more offense. You do have another game tonight, dude. It's the Clay Holmes spot, I believe, which is good because Clay Holmes has been pitching well for you. I'm not sure who's pitching for the Red Sox, to be honest. It's Buehler, Walker Buehler. I did know that. Which again, he's been somewhat up and down. I'm not sure about his last few starts. I guess we can take a look right now. But Walker Buehler, obviously a guy that I thought would be good for the Mets. Looks like Cleveland, 6 earned runs. Chicago, 7 innings, 1 earned run, which is reasonable there. His last, 5 starts, I guess. He has given up. He got popped against St. Louis. So I guess he's given up 8, 9, 12 earned runs in his last 5 starts.
Which actually is not that bad.
It's not that bad, but the fact of the matter is, like, you should be able to hit this guy. The strikeouts aren't crazy, I guess. Only 3 against Cleveland, obviously the 9 against Chicago, but he's gotten hit around a little bit. 4.28 ERA. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to score 6 runs.
And it just reminds me of somebody that hasn't been counted on as a starter to make 30 starts in 5 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Walker Buehler is. So he's the good and the bad. I mean, we'll see if he can stay healthy for this season. But I think, there's an opportunity for the Mets, you would think, here to be patient on him early, get some runs, and then, hopefully you could kind of take it from there.
Yeah, that would be a great plan, dude. But I guess, time will tell what type of Met team we'll see out in the diamond tonight, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. So now, did you update the picks from yesterday? I think I did terrible again, or no?
I didn't do you. I went 5-1. I know that, but I know Philly's in the over, right? That hit. So you were 2-0 with that.
Brewers, I think I had the under.
Brewers
so
in the
1-1, right?
Under. So that's
9.
Okay, so that's 3-1 collectively.
And then the
Detroit,
other one was Detroit blowing it. I had the under. So that's So that's what,
3-2. 3-3.
Yeah.
So not terrible.
Not terrible, but
500.
A lagger once again.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice to get the Met win, I suppose, for me. But I mean, what are you gonna do, dude? What are you gonna do, Brian?
Yeah. And I mean, I know that it is tough given what we've seen recently to, feel great, coming, into tonight. But you mentioned, for the most of the season, Holmes has pitched well. I mean, do you feel like, confident that okay, like we're bouncing back tonight? We're going to get some hits off of Buehler. Holmes will give us 6 solid. I mean, where's your head at right now?
No, not really, dude, honestly.
Because what's interesting? You're catching Boston at like almost they're in a similar spot that you've been in.
Yeah.
So it's like they're kind of at a point where they're kind of due to turn it around. So that's why it's kind of tough.
Yeah. And I know there's, and Fenway shows up, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, I will say, the hitters really impressed me against Senga last night. Like the Red Sox lineup, the way they were hitting them, keying on the fork ball. it was, I mean, the least dominant start Senga has had this season, no doubt about that. Which honestly doesn't say much, I suppose, because it still was a quality start. He's been dialed all year long. I mean, he had like a 1.2 ERA going into tonight, or last night, I should say. And I don't know, man. I mean, I could sit here and say Cleveland's been doing well, but not for nothing. I know Griffin, Canning labored through a start against the Yankees, but, he got hit around a lot. And I could see that happening for the first time this season. Clay Holmes,
right. In Fenway
Park,
dude.
Seemed
to I know last night was lower scoring, but maybe the weather had something to do with that.
The wind is fucking outrageous, by the way. It really was.
It was cold. It was like 50 degrees plus the wind.
Plus the wind. So, I don't know. It's hard for me to sit here and have any confidence, but I mean, what am I going to do, dude? When you're a fan, you got to at least have some hope, I suppose. But we'll see, dude. We'll see.
I mean, do you think, too, in terms of, like, heading in the other direction? And, by the way, it looks like tonight it's a 6:45. So, yeah, I mean, you're looking at temperatures between 54 and 51 in Boston. And wind-wise, only 9 miles an hour, but the gusts are up to 16. So maybe a little less windy than last night, I would think.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was going to get at is, I mean, is it just like, is it one wind that kind of, changes things?
No.
So what I mean, like, I guess what I'm asking is, like, what are you looking for that? I mean, you just need to see it, 5 games in a row, 10 games in a row.
Yeah.
Some type of consistency.
I mean, again, dropping 4 out of your last 5 is not good. It takes more than just one win to get out of that,
Right.
Dropping 4 of your last 6, it doesn't really sound any much better to me. So I don't know, dude. I mean, I'd like to see, obviously, a series win. I want to see some dominant offense.
Right.
In my opinion, the bullpen could be a little shaky right now. I'd like to see, a bullpen to really close out this game. I mean, I guess one bright spot is, Diaz looked great against the Yankees in that game, So hopefully you use Diaz in the 9th here. I guess maybe you find yourself in a situation when you're up 5 runs and you can maybe take a stab at Stanek here to see what he's looking like. But obviously he's been trash his past few outings. So, there's a lot to look for here. I guess at the end of the day is I just really, really, really just want an emphatic victory here. And how about no errors in the field? That would be really good, dude. Like by anybody at all. We do have a phone call coming in here. It could be a nobody though. Stand by.
I saw you have an interesting pickup the other day on Friday.
1 second here. Good morning. You're live on the Sportsport. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, guys, can you guys hear me good?
Yes.
Who's calling? What's your name? What do you want to talk about?
Oh, all right. So my name is Hector. I'm from New York. I'm from Houston. Moved here a couple of years ago,
Okay.
I wanted to comment on you guys. Can't because I'm driving. I'm doing a couple of errands. But I wanted to talk to you guys about Soto, man. This is funny. Man. This is so funny to me. Listen, the night that Juan Soto signed, bro, I was the happiest flower in the world. Like the happiest flower in the world. The first thing I did, because the Mets opened up in Houston, I right away.
Mm-hmm.
First row, right field, $1, bought a Juan Soto jersey. Known my girlfriend for 2 months. I said, she wanted to say, you're not Juan Soto. Don't talk to me. So I went and, let me tell you, I was in right field. I was in the first row, had some cranberry pills. I'm like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm really happy. And I'm over there now. And one, this vibe where it was kind of like him. Like he knew he was a Met, but he wasn't emotionally as a Met. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I was waving my jersey and I took it off, man. 3 shots of tequila. I took off my jersey. I'm Juan Soto. Hello, say hello to me. Divorce my girlfriend. My girlfriend's about to break up with me. You. And I'm waving my jersey. And it doesn't pay attention to me. But then there's some guy over there in right field, a dirty Yankees jersey, and he says, hey, yo, thank you for wearing that jersey. I'm like, hey, man, pay attention to me, man. I'm paid $300. My life go 86 right now, brother. But the whole point I'm trying to make is this. This is the best thing to happen to Juan Soto. I think adversity, everybody has to go through adversity, no matter in what situation. How much you're getting paid, I don't care. In what situation, it's a way of life. You will not get better without adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like he's finally faced it. I think this is signing the biggest contract in North American sports history. Escalators is going to get him over $800 million. Talking about all this amount of pressure to deliver on that contract. The fact the Yankees to go to the Mets, I mean, you could tell that he's going through adversity. And these notions and these narratives where he's not, while I kind of can see why I think it's for the wrong reasons. I think because he's not producing like the way Juan Soto could produce. And I think he's putting too much pressure on himself. And you could tell he's second guessing every pitch, looking more than he wants to swing. He does go long at bats like the way Juan Soto does. And I just feel like it's just him getting used to a new team. And, when you have, Yankee Stadium and stuff like that, it's hitting Yankee Stadium. I could take my 2 dogs and they can hit 40 there. And they have 40 home runs. And guys, I mean, what is right field? Like 200 feet? I mean, anybody can hit 40 home runs there. City Field, there's so many gaps. You're talking about left center. You're talking about right center. It's not made for a home park. And they've had this problem since they built. They try to cater to David Wright. In Shea Stadium, he was hitting like a beast at Shea Stadium. When they took down Shea Stadium and they built, guy was having a hard time hitting there.
Mm-hmm.
And try to bring the fences in. They started off with left field, brought the fences in. They did the same thing with right field. He never really adjusted to Citi Field until like 2 years of his career. Now, granted, he got injured and stuff. Like that. Not a hitter's ballpark like the way Yankee Stadium is. I laugh at these notions. I think they're hilarious. I think he's gonna produce. I think he's gonna at around like maybe July. And if you see what he's doing, I mean, not hitting the inside pitching. They're throwing him off speed.
Mm-hmm.
A fastball hitter. You see his bat is made to hit fastballs. But what they're doing is that they're pitching inside and they're throwing him more off speeds inside. Max Fried pitch, he was thrown inside. That reminded me of Carlos Beltran all over Adam Wainwright. Like you son of a gun. You really had to throw that off speed pitch on 3-2, man. Come on, Max Fried. Throw him a fastball. Let's challenge them. But I just feel like he's a little in between. And that's just opinion on, the whole Juan Soto mess that's going on,
And do you think, though, like with the effort stuff, like, you admiring that single off the wall, I mean, it's playing into you just frustrated, so his head's not in the right place? I mean, just with the effort stuff, I mean, where do you think that's coming from?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I am a little disappointed by that. I mean, the one at Yankee Stadium, I'm kind of disappointed with. The one to left field, I think everybody knew that he was supposed to hustle out of the box.
Mm-hmm.
The wind was really crazy yesterday, and he misjudged the ball. Same thing with Alonso that you guys were talking about earlier. He misjudged the entire where the ball was going. And so, do I feel like he should be hustling? Absolutely. Every player should be doing it. I don't care how much you're getting paid. $50,000. You're supposed to be hustling out the box. I don't care who. But I just think it's more of overthinking his position right now. I overthinking way too much at the plate. I think he's too much as a human being. He won't say it publicly. You can tell by his body language that he's really putting a lot than any other Met fan would, any other sports fan would, any fan would. I think the real pressure is on himself. And I think until he gets, that's when you'll start seeing the real Juan Soto. And that's how I think, in terms of how the Mets, hitting wise, I feel like the Mets have always, and I've been a Mets fan for like 25 years. I always had this issue where one year they fall the hell out of the ball. Mm-hmm. And then the next year they just go through slumps, like in 2022. And they got Buck Showalter. Francisco Lindor finally has a great year. You know, Peter 140 RBIs. I mean, the Mets were hitting on all cylinders in the second half. And then in 2023, after that year, they couldn't hit nothing. I mean, they were there, you know, with their hands in their pants. They had no to do. You know what I mean? And so it's always a seesaw moment, but I do want to fans for the ones that are here. The Mets, for me, have been always, for the most part, a second half team. Mm-hmm. And I think we're just really judging them based on the first 2 months. And I think we forget how good they were this year and how it started last year. You know what I mean? They've always been second half team. Even in 2019, when they almost made the postseason. Mm-hmm. I mean, they were struggling at April, May, and then June to like freaking September, man. That was one for the ages, man. They were hitting everything. They were coming back. I mean, you know, they were. And so I just think we just have to give it a little bit more time. There's a little Carlos Beltran into this. You know, when Beltran first signed, you look at how he struggled in his first year. There's kind of like that Carlos Beltran type of contract from what I see. It's about getting adjusted. I feel like he is. And I think the Mets overall, they're going to get adjusted really well. But I just think they're hitting the way it is. I overthink too much. And I think they just got to keep it simple. And it's all about everything like that. I think analytics destroy the game completely. I don't think there's emotion when it comes to hitting. Like, you got to have instincts. Mm-hmm. That's why we signed Juan Soto, because Juan's instincts. But at the end of the day, you know, I just feel like the Mets are just overthinking too much, pressure on themselves. And that's where I am.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Like what you said at the plate. I mean, those are the woes that they get into. You know, they're just second guessing themselves, not seeing pitches correctly. I mean, I feel like we saw that even against Rodon on Friday. But you know, you mentioned kind of giving, I guess, Soto some more time. I mean, where do you see the Mets in the division? Let's say September. Where do you see like Juan Soto's stats at? Where do you see them in their division?
Well, I mean, I expect them to be in first place. I mean, listen, they lost AJ Minter.
Yeah, huge loss.
That's a loss right there. I mean, you know, now they had to get Genesis Cabrera, which I thought he should have came out of spring training with them. I pretty well in spring training, and he's kind of been up and down since they brought him up, since that AJ Minter stuff. Mm-hmm. So before anything, I think the Mets need another bullpen piece. I know they got that guy from Arizona. He was a little shaky. A lot of potential with him because he's really tall, has a very big arm, throws 97 miles an hour. So you can always bank on that. The Mets have a really good pitching lab, so they'll be able to figure something out because they always do. That's what they've been doing with the pitching lab. A lot of credit for. In terms of where they're going to be by September, like I said, first place, I see Juan Soto maybe being at 280, maybe 20 home runs, 80 RBIs. I think he's going to go on a really hot streak very, very, very soon. And at the end of the day, I don't even care what he does in May. I don't care what he did in Yankee. What are you going to do for me in Game 7 of the NLCS? What are you going to do for me in the NLDS? Mm-hmm. What are you going to do for me then? I don't care about none of this. I really don't. Because that's, to me, don't mean anything. It's the same thing. Knicks were horrible all season. They were consistently up and down, up and down, up and down. And you see, they go to the postseason, everybody's forgotten everything. Just Cat, everybody else. So it's really what you do for me in the postseason. And that's where I see the Mets trajectory future, you know.
And you think like all this, like he doesn't want to be on the Mets anymore. He'd rather be on the Yankees. The whole family pressuring to be on the Mets. Like, you think that's kind of a bunch of hoopla?
Oh man, I was watching the game. Been watching the game today, and you know, my girlfriend, she wanted to go out, and I said, "Listen, don't bother me today, okay? I walk the dogs. Don't talk to me. I'm done with you." Now, you know, I was watching this, and I noticed a couple of things. One of the things that I did notice is that he was very chatty with the catcher. Like, asking him, like, can we be best friends? Or you want to go grab a slice of pizza? Full-blown conversation. What are we doing? Nobody on the Mets is talking to the damn catcher. Leave the catcher, bro. Just let it go. Like, and he looked like he was really happy to be there. Yes, granted, it looks like he had a really good time with the Yankees. I'm not. The emotions are different from last year to this year. I think a lot had to do with the contract. He put a lot of pressure to produce. I think it was all that put together. There is one thing I do have to say about the Mets that are different than the Yankees. There is this narrative with the Yankees that they always have to win because they have all these championships, they have all these great players, blah, blah, blah. The Mets don't have a winning culture yet. That I will agree with. I think they are, when I talk about a winning culture, I'm talking about give me 3-5 years of consistently making the postseason and going deep every single year in order to say that you're a winning culture team. And I think when the Mets when they signed Juan Soto, they sold them on the more than the culture and that they want to win and they want to win and they're constantly improving, Because let's be honest, ever since Steve Cohen bought the Mets have been up and down. You know what I mean? I mean, he tried to go with the George Steinbrenner. He signed Max Scherzer. And he signed, Justin Verlander. He tried to sign everybody in the book. He tried to overpay for everything, and it didn't work. And they had to blow it up. And then, there was leaks going around with, Billy Epler, Zach Scott when he got drunk and got caught with a DUI.
Yeah.
State New York when he came out of Steve Cohen's house. There was remember this stuff, all these leaks that were coming out.
Yeah.
When Steve Cohen took over. Yeah. And what did Steve Cohen say? I'm tired of the leaks. You guys need to stop leaking this stuff. And there hasn't been anything bad since. So I feel like, the Mets are slowly getting there, but they have to build this winning culture. And I don't know, maybe go get a veteran. I know they're going to be really active on the trade deadline. They got multiple infielders. I mean, you look at what they have in AAA. They have Ronnie Mauricio. They got Luis Angel Acuna, which has been up and down. I thought he was going to be really good. There's so much stuff that they could go out there and get a big bat. Like one bat that I would love for them to get, and I know you guys are going to call me crazy because I'm from Houston, because I've been living here in Houston a couple of years, and I'm watching them, is the Astros. If the Astros start tanking, they already gave up Kyle Tucker. Go out there and get Yordan Alvarez. Go get him. Give up whatever you want. Go get Yordan Alvarez. I think if you put that bat in the lineup, it's over. Mets winning the World Series. Ain't no way they're not going to win the World Series. Give me Yordan. Because Yordan is the guy. That is the guy right there.
Yeah, I mean, no, Yordan's great. I guess he's on the injured list right now with the hand and still, 27? What's the contract information there? Tony has this up. 29. He's a free agent. So what? They still have him for the next 3 seasons after this year. So, yeah, I mean, I think for that to happen, I mean, you're talking about every single valuable piece you'd have to give up. And I don't know still if that would be enough. I don't know if Houston would want to. I mean, obviously that would be a great player to get. But I just don't know. Because if you trade Alvarez, if you're Houston, I mean, what else do you even have?
Yeah, true.
Well, the problem is, I will tell you this. The Astros have one of the worst farm systems in baseball. They depleted their farm system. And so the Mets, they're rich so much in their farm, I think it would be a good pairing for them. Because if you look at what they have in terms of ranking Baseball America, where they have them, they are on the bottom tier of farm prospects. And you're just like mind blown. You're like, well, this team, they take a bunch of scrubs and they go to the World Series. I just think it has to do with their analytics. But in terms of what they have, like top prospects, they don't really have that much top prospects. And I feel like when they gave up on Kyle Tucker, because for me, I don't think they should have never given up to Kyle Tucker. And that's a whole nother conversation. I don't think they should have traded him. But that shows to the Red Sox organization and the players that I think they're coming very, very close to a rebuild. I don't think they're there yet because they are, like, I think the last I checked, like a game back?
Yeah, 2.5 back of the Mariners, but obviously their pedigree. Right. I mean, let's face it. I mean, they're in the postseason every year, so I'm sure they expect to be back there.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting for sure. But yeah, a lot of stuff to consider, and of course, as far as the Mets are concerned, a big game in Boston tonight. So we'll have to see what happens. But definitely appreciate you calling in. Definitely give us a call.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Love the conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you, I just went on YouTube and I just found you guys. I was like, I need to call, man. Yeah. This Juan Soto disrespect. I need to tell somebody, man, because my girlfriend's already tired of me. My friends in New York are tired of me. Everybody tired of me about talking about Juan Soto. You know what I mean? But yeah, no, it was great. It was great chatting with you guys. Yeah, we'll definitely talk about it soon. And good stuff on the channel, guys. Appreciate it.
No, thank you. Appreciate you. Yeah, great call there. Right. But always good to get multiple calls during the show. We always enjoy that. So,
especially from a Mets fan,
and just growing, new listeners. Obviously, we always love that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, obviously we got to do our picks here. I was just gonna say, started this 3-game series with Texas for the Yankees. Will Warren on the hill has pitched far better in May than he did in April. So you hope he continues that. He was great last time out. And then Patrick Corbin has had one of the most surprising renaissances we've ever seen, kind of like a Javi Baez. He's 3-2, 3 through 5. I think he's pitched well against the Yankees in the past, maybe even as recent as last season. So, sometimes the left-handers give them trouble. But I would just hope that, they kind of are patient, wait him out. I know he doesn't have the same fastball, that he used to. So I'm just hoping that, they will do that, and hoping that, Warren, every time he's on the hill, I always say the same thing. He did pitch 6 scoreless innings against the Yankees last year, only allowing 2 hits. Just
Corbin did?
Wow. Just that, Warren can give him, 5-6 innings, 2-3 earned runs. And I think the offense, well rested as well. Bullpen's all ready to go. Nice to have Loaisiga back. So let's go. And let's, continue our winning ways. I believe that it's been 4 straight series. Let's make it 5 because we got a big West Coast trip coming up. Can't wait to watch the game tonight after the off day yesterday. Let's do a MLB 6-pack pick segment brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm, and it's your turn, Tony. Bless you.
Thank you. Yes, it is my turn, dude. And I guess I'll do it. Why not? I'll take a flyer here on the New York Metropolitans. Game 2 here, Boston, Fenway, Red Sox, Bueller. We know the deal. Bueller, solid, I guess, through his last 5 starts. But I'm going to go with the Clay Holmes spot. I'll say he can get 6 innings, 2 earned runs out of him tonight. Again, Duran's been hitting well. Devers is getting walked left or right. It seems like Trevor Story may be heating up. But nonetheless, dude, I think he can limit the damage. And I think you will see a different New York lineup here tonight. Classic, patented Francisco Lindor, leadoff homer, top of the first. Bueller, you said it, dude. I think after this start, IL spot. Why not, dude?
Wow.
Maybe some lat tightness, shoulder discomfort. I don't know, dude. But I'm telling you, he's getting popped. 4 1/3 for him. 5 earned runs. Mets, bullpen cleans it up. Kranick, good. I guess maybe you'll see Buteau in back-to-back days. Maybe you'll even see Stanek close it out because we'll be up about 4 runs come the 9th inning, dude. And I see the Mets take this game. I guess I'll check the over-under here. But I say they take this game. I'm going to say 6-3, which I'm sure will be over. Absolutely. So it's going to be Mets bouncing back and the over for my first game.
All right. And really hoping that comes to fruition tonight. Obviously, the Red Sox with the win last night, so the lead was 5. Now it's 4.5. But if the Mets do win and the Yankees do win, we could get it to 5.5. And speaking of the Yankees, -190 here at home. We talked about Will Warren on the hill, better this month. 3.18 in ERA here in May after a 5.63 in April. And then Patrick Corbin, had the 6 innings, only 2 hits allowed last season against the Yankees. Obviously, different team this year, longer lineup. You would expect a left-hander on the hill, Goldschmidt leading off. Just hoping he kind of sets the tone, early, put pressure on Corbin early, because it just feels, as much as we've seen Patrick Corbin struggle the last couple of years, it would be very tough to imagine him keeping up this performance, pitching like it's 2019 all over again. So I'm going to say the Yankees will chase him for 5 runs over 4 1/3. And I think we'll see Judge, hit his 16th home run of the season. He feasts against left-handed pitching. I was texting JD the other day. I think the average was almost 500 against left-handed pitching, but I would expect Goldschmidt as well. Let's get Austin Wells into the mix. He's been kind of up and down this year, hitting the ball hard, but against a fastball from Corbin, you would expect to be in the low 90s at best. I would say that's a good prop bet for Ernie. But I think this is an easy win. The Yankees have played well at home, 15-9, 27-19 overall. And I think they are going to end up winning this game by the score of 7-3. So give me the Yankees and the over.
Nice job there. I think I'm going to go to the West Coast here. Took the D-backs last night. I'm saying tonight is going to be the Dodgers bounce back after losing, 4 in a row now, right? Wow. Yes, dude. Which is pretty crazy here. Swept by the Angels.
Crazy, and then to lose Arizona after that.
Unbelievable, dude. And I think Yamamoto, got into some trouble last start out. But I say bounce back here. ERA still in the low 2s here against Ryan Nelson, however you want to spell it, dude. His ERA spells 5.13, dude. So I say Dodgers hit the cover off the ball. Ohtani, who is leading the league in homers right now at 17. Give me his 18th. Freeman, and I guess maybe Teoscar with a nice 2 for 4, a couple doubles, RBIs, whatever, dude. Early and often, Dodgers over. They win 8-3.
And I hate to be too obvious. This isn't breaking news, Tony. But yes, the Phillies at minus 285 in Colorado. How do you not take it?
Kind of crazy.
Jesus Luzardo has been unbelievable this year. 4-0, 2 ERA. While you look on the other side of things, Antonio Santazella, I would never pronounce that name right. But anyway, 1-7, 6.39 ERA, a whip of 1.99. I think the Phillies will absolutely tee off on this guy. They've been playing great baseball, winners of 4 in a row. I think they put on a clinic here in Colorado. They won 9-3 last night. I think they win 13-4 tonight. So give me Philly and the over.
Philly and the over. Let's write that down first. So Phil over. Beautiful, dude. All right, my next game, my third and final game, actually. We're going to go to Toronto, outside the borders of the United States here. The Padres are going to be visiting the Blue Jays here. Chris Bassett on the bump, facing off, matched up against Dylan Cease here. Speaking of struggling here, Dylan Cease, 4.62 ERA. I think was his last start kind of good, though? I kind of forget. Nonetheless, though, last start against the Angels, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs. Did okay against the Yankees as well. But I don't know, man. I'd say Chris Bassett can put together 7 innings, 2 earned runs. Padres right now, I know the division, they're doing all right. Giants, Dodgers, watch out. But they just got swept by Seattle at home, too. Blue Jays are going to bounce back after a loss against Detroit. So give me the Blue Jays. Why not, dude? They could use some more offensive production, I feel. Give me Dalton Varsho. He's been a little bit underwhelming, I feel like, this season for what you would want him to be. Bo Bichette, though, hitting well, almost 300 on the season. So I say they take on a few. I guess, give me the over here at 8.5. Blue Jays 5, Padres 4, dude.
All right, so third and final, going to the Windy City, a battle of a first-place team in Seattle and a last-place team in Chicago. That is the White Sox, of course, and they have Bryce Wilson, 0-2, 6 ERA this season, pitching against an undecided pitcher for Seattle, so that's either a minor league guy, a bullpen game.
Doesn't matter.
Seattle has played well, winners of 4 in a row. Chicago's lost 5 in a row, including 5-1 last night.
No surprise.
In Seattle, we talked about leading over Houston 2.5 games in the West. But I think they continue their winning ways, stretching that winning streak to 5, losing to Chicago to 6. And I think they end up winning this game 4-1. Give me the Mariners and the under, and just like that, that is your 6-pack MLB pick segment.
Bang.
And I guess before we just do the grid here, there was a few comments that trickled.
Oh, yeah, we did have a few. Let's see here. We have a lot, actually. Michael pumped about Ernie. member.
Let's go.
Get my number from Josh, he says, dude. Ernie says, yes, dude. Love you, brother. He says, got to show me how to change the blue star. LA, I need the red. Obviously, grateful for Ernie here. Also, my mother says, see you Sunday. And aren't you off Monday? I'm not off Monday. You will see me Sunday. Monday, Memorial Day. Also, my mom's birthday.
There you go.
And then my mother here upset about the Mets. Better come to play here. I don't think Soto's worth it. No matter what their circumstances, he should play at his best. I think it's nonsense, she says, that his family made him join the Mets, by the way, which is kind of crazy. But like you said, Mom, I mean, at the end of the day, they just got to come show up to play. Hopefully they do tonight. Josh B saying in terms of Soto talking to Austin Wells that they were buddies.
Yes.
Ernie having a good chuckle at a Jordan call here. So did Josh B saying he has stunk so far this season. I mean, he has. I mean, the numbers aren't great. Like, what do we say? 210 average, 6 homers. But
he's been brutal,
you do?
but come on. I mean, he's going to be healthy. The hand's going to be healed, and he's going to hit 15 home runs in a month.
Probably.
We know how good Jordan Alvarez is.
And Ernie tacking it on. Mets need the Pope to make them a winning culture. Grimace didn't work. Oh my God, didn't work. LMAO, he says. I mean, all jokes aside, Ernie. I mean,
winning works.
Winning works.
So that's it.
There we go.
Either you win or you don't.
Win the fucking game.
But that being said, let's get the grid up. I think we had a pretty good run recently, and hoping to continue that.
Okay.
Just taking a look here, John Lackey was on the Cubs, no?
Lackey?
Yeah.
I feel like you may be right.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, Donna Lee, happy early birthday to my mom. Let's go, Donna.
There we go.
Wow, Josh B following suit as well. Let's go. Hold on, sorry, let me just fix this. Bang. Lackey, Cubs, Angels, you say?
Yeah. E.
John Lackey. Oh, E-Y. That's right, dude. Bang.
Would you have rather seen red to go through the back channels, Tony?
Oh.
It's all right. It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right, dude.
We
will rebound. Don't worry here.
All right, and then let's
Angels, Washington.
Let's take a look here. All-Star K-Rod.
All-Star for the Angels.
Yeah.
K-Rod. You think that'd be too much though? Tyler Anderson. You think it'd be too much? He was All-Star last year.
Do Tyler Anderson. Do it. Done.
Dude, honestly, though,
yeah,
you think
because
lower?
no one's thinking of Tyler Anderson. I'll tell you that much.
I'll tell you that much. He was good last season, man. 0.9, dude.
There we go. Was Profar an All-Star for
Jurickson Profar
for the Padres last year?
He must have been, right?
But I guess if we're not certain,
I think Brad Hand was back in the day.
Jim Edmonds,
right? Jim Edmonds probably was.
Yeah, probably.
I know. The red dude. My mom's saying thank you, by the way, to all her fans out there.
There we go.
I guess we can wait on that one. I mean, the obvious here, of course, San Diego, Washington. You could do fucking Soto, but Cliff Floyd, I think, played for San Diego, right?
Cliff Floyd, I don't know.
He definitely was on the Nationals. Obviously, the Mets as well.
Yeah.
MLB 09.
Yeah, I don't know about the Padres. All right, let's think about this for a second. Just trying to think of kind of like a
Cubs Hall of Famer. You could do Lou Brock.
Oh.
Remember having his baseball card?
You could, but how about for Washington
Like
Hall
this.
of Famer Pudge? That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a great one.
A great one.
There we go.
4%,
There we
dude.
go. No one's thinking about that. Hall of Famer, All Star. Obviously, we could do anybody under the
sun.
Rolling. Oh no!
Oh, sorry.
Scott Rowland. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Scott Rowland.
1%.
1%.
There we go.
The eye black dude. Angels, Washington. I mean, Cologne, definitely.
Or how about
Kurt Suzuki? I think Suzuki played for the Angels,
Cologne?
right?
Oh, right. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know Cologne, but I was also going to say for the Cubs, Greg Maddux.
Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
All right, fine. You're like Lou Brock. 9. All right. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think we should do the Padres All-Star. You want to just do I don't know, PV, Darvish, Hoffman.
You Darvish.
I feel like, or I don't know if Kimbrel made it.
I don't know about Kimbrel.
But Cubs,
sure
Padres,
Brad.
Kimbrel. Done.
Craig Kimbrel.
2%.
2%, dude.
So Angels in Washington here. I
know. That's tough, dude.
And then but the All-Star for San Diego.
Do you want to try Brad Hand? I mean, I'm pretty certain.
If you're certain,
2017,
then I'm gonna be pissed. So go ahead.
2017, I think I was senior year in college. Brad Hand everywhere.
There we go. Very good there. Very good job.
There. Very good. Very good. Very good.
Anthony
Rendon. That's gonna be 100%.
190%.
And then obviously you could do Soto, dude. But
I mean, where's Ernie these days?
Was CJ Abrams wasn't on? He's only been on the Washington.
He came
over. Right?
I think he made the majors with the Padres. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure too.
Yeah.
Want to do it?
Yeah.
CJ Abrams, dude.
Yep.
6%.
All right. So we've done pretty well after the 22 for John Lackey.
Mm-hmm.
The photo looks like it's from, I don't know, 92, right?
Yeah, dude.
All right. So we got to just think about this for like one second here.
I feel like, I don't know if I'm just remembering Kurt being in red from Washington, but Ernie's calling in.
Oh, there we go.
Ernie, you're live on the grid, dude.
What's going on, Ernie?
Yeah, what's up, my guys?
What up?
So, did you need the last one, or did you get?
No, we need it. Yeah, Washington and Angels. What do you got for us?
Bart.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Surprised that you guys. I'm so surprised that this name. Like, I'm actually a little upset at you, Barnes.
Really?
You kind of let me down. Yeah, you kind of let me down. Andres Galarraga.
Galarraga. Okay. I guess I didn't really know of him on the Angels, honestly. I always think of him on the Braves.
He played.
Just do Andres.
Yeah. He played 1 year on the Angels.
At the end of his career?
It was like around like 05, around there. Like between like 03. Probably 04 was the one.
Wait, hold on. Sorry. A-N-D, Tony. A-N. No.
A-N-D, dude. There it is. You know, I spelled Galarraga right the first time, dude. 45,
Very
whatever,
good there,
dude.
Ernie. Yeah, because that was a 0.8, and we had gotten 22 on John Lackey, the most popular Angels and Cubs. Who would have thought that, honestly?
Yeah, right.
I'm not gonna lie, John Lackey that would have surprised me so hard.
Yeah. I mean, who else would you have said? Would anybody have came to jump there? Or?
What
for Angels and Cubs?
Angels and Cubs here.
I mean, a lot of options because you could have went Rodney, you could have went you could have went
Bonds.
Rodney would have been perfect. I forgot about
Jim Edmonds, dude.
Jim
Edmonds.
And
Simmons. You could have went
Bill Buckner, dude.
Bill Buckner.
The ground ball through the legs.
But I think, I don't know. I mean, I guess we hold ourselves to a higher standard these days. But a 45, I mean, isn't like the worst score in the world.
No.
You know?
No, 45. 45 is solid. You know, anything under 50, you kind of pat yourself in the back a little bit.
Yeah, we're not looking up answers like Michael Butka, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Like Kev. I'm pretty sure Kev goes to Google.
Wow, Jose Quintana, dude.
I forgot about Quintana. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, thanks for the assist there, Ernie. Really appreciate it.
No doubt. Guys, I'm always here to help, you know? If you guys are gonna grab it at the end, so I had to.
Yeah, no,
appreciate
thanks, man. Go sell some trucks.
Yeah,
right?
make some calls.
Oh, you already know. Oh, Yankee. All right,
let's go Yankees. All right.
And wait, here's a little sidebar. Let's go Mets.
All right. Let's go Mets.
Need to win tonight. All right.
Come on.
That wasn't good.
We
last
need
night.
you guys to take. We need you guys to. All right, you couldn't do your job in New York. Do it in Boston.
Let's go, Clay Holmes.
Okay,
come on.
All right,
Clay.
come on,
dude.
dude.
Shut up. Come on. Shut up. All right, Ernie. Thanks again. And I see also in here, Donna said that her friend Sue has a Nolan Ryan and a Tom Seaver rookie card.
Good for Sue, dude. That is sick.
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, it's crazy that we're already like at this point. I guess I just wanted to quick mention of the hockey in the NBA tonight. So I mean, we did our series predictions, but in terms of this game tonight, the Carolina faithful, the Lenovo Center, I'm sure Chokri riled here. I mean, can the Hurricanes take game one here? -130 favorites, actually, which is interesting.
Yeah, honestly, I would say yeah. I mean, Tommy's I guess breakdown of these two teams was pretty on point. I mean, Carolina does a great job in just absolutely suffocating whatever game you play. Yes, the Panthers can move the puck well on the road, though. This season they weren't phenomenal. And like Matthew Tkachuk said at the end of the last series here, they are a 7-game series team. They're a third period team here. I think the Hurricanes, caused maybe some problems here in game one in Raleigh, dude. I think it'll be tight. Hurricanes, like a 3-2 spot, something like that. So I would say that Hurricanes take game one. But obviously, we have the whole series here to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about you?
I agree, because it feels like that line, and mine was different, of course, when I clicked into it. I think it said -110, -130, but or +110, -130. But regardless of that, it just seems like a trap, because it seems like, why wouldn't you just take Florida with the, and then I'm thinking about how they were down 2-0 last series. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with you there. I'm gonna say Carolina. I could say like a 4-3 type close game. But I think they get it done. Aho. I think he comes up big there.
Sebastian.
Maybe a go-ahead last couple minutes. So should be some good hockey on the dial tonight. And then your favorite thing in the world here, Western Conference Finals, National Basketball Association. The Thunder, 7.5-point favorites here, going up against the Timberwolves. Obviously, they've had a nice run this postseason. The Wolves had, but a step up in competition here with the Thunder. Totals at 217.5. I think the Thunder, I think this is a tight game, maybe even at the half, but like a second half runaway. I think the Thunder win like 130 to 115. I think a lot of points here, so I like the over.
Wow.
And I just think the Thunder kind of do a little bit of a flex, even though it was tight. Mm-hmm. I mean, they went to 7 with Denver. But I think, like I said yesterday, we'll see as this series progresses that the Thunder are on a different level. And they will return to the NBA Finals for the first time since Durant, Westbrook, and James Harden were all on the same team.
Who's your star of the game for them?
Star of the game. I mean, who else would it be? It's obviously Shai.
Mm-hmm.
Shai. I always get
Shai. I think people say, right?
Yeah, Shai. 30-point triple double.
Shai.
So Thunder over. What about you?
I don't know, dude. I have Minnesota winning this one. Edwards, 42 points, 12 assists, a couple steals, maybe even. I say give me Minnesota, maybe like a, I don't know, 114-110. Bang.
All right. So we'll see what happens there. TNT's last, or no, is this on TNT or no? They have the Knicks. So this is ESPN or no?
This is
ESPN.
ESPN.
Okay. Yeah, I guess TNT, it's their last series, the Knicks series. So Reggie Miller on the coverage. People are talking about
People
that.
not happy about that. Nope. Non-bias.
Could you tell me what Donna Lee means? Barnes is a caniac?
Caniac.
Do you think she means maniac?
Maybe. I don't know, though. Caniac, like the Hurricanes, maybe?
Oh, okay. That could be. No, but I don't get it though, because it's like it's not like I've like
I think you've been high in the Hurricanes.
Not crazy though.
No, I guess not crazy.
Where I would be a caniac, you know what I mean? But I'm sure she'll either comment or I could ask her later. I'm sure I'll see her in the chat or or JD's show. No, she says, "No, you're rooting for the Canes, and that's what my niece calls her boys, Caniacs." And then Ernie saying, "Oh boy, only if it was closer." I'm guessing talking about the graduation party.
Graduation, yeah. I mean, you gotta work, dude. It's tough.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? But and then other than that, binge
tonight. Last of Us episode 7. It was Manny in studio. Will be chatting about that, dude. A lot to break down with this episode. Not gonna lie, dude.
You're pumped. Return of Joel.
The flashback, dude. Joel's alive.
Alive and better than ever.
But tune in 8 p.m. It's gonna be a good one, dude. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, so definitely check that out. And she also says her niece lives in Raleigh, and like I've mentioned many times, my sister's in Cary. And we do fly into the Raleigh airport when we visit. So
how far is Cary?
Definitely love that area. From there, I mean, it's 15 minutes. It's right there.
There we go,
the
dude.
Triangle area. And then let's see. Will Tony be nice to Theophil is the question.
I'm always nice to Theophil. Okay, listen, he starts it. All right, he comes in here with the attitude. He's starting shit. All right.
This seems like a Yankee Met debate type of thing,
It's
always the others started it, right? I mean, that's usually what we hear.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess you could say that.
Yeah. So
we'll see.
Either way,
yeah.
It's must-watch TV. Get your popcorn ready. So yeah, let's go. And I had to say, an outstanding episode today. A lot of calls. We love that. We really want everybody, call anytime you want. We'd love to hear from you guys. So
absolutely.
We really appreciate everybody who tuned in today and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony Malga, Renee, and Jay in costume, the merch at DowntimeTV.com. While everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games, enjoy binge buddies. Let's go Yankees.
Let's go Mets.
And we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.